Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most exciting features of fish, enchants. If you're aiming to become the ultimate angler in fish, then you already know that the right rods are a key, but it's the enchants that really make a difference. These little gems can totally change the game, boosting your stats or even giving you brand new abilities that can give you the edge over the competition. But here's the catch. Getting the perfect enchant? It's all up to RNG, so you better be ready to put in some serious time to get those dream effects. Now, not all enchants are created equal, and that's where our tier list comes in. Some enchants are absolute game changers, while others, well, let's just say you might want to avoid them if you're aiming for the top. In this video, we'll break down which enchants are worth chasing and which ones might just be better left in the dust. So grab your rods, because we're about to embark on a fishing adventure like no other. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking enchants in fish. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The enchants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Wormhole, Unbreakable, and Long. Alright, let's dive into some of the more meh enchants in fish that you're probably better off avoiding. We've all been there, unlocking a shiny new enchant only to realize it doesn't quite live up to the hype. Well, that's what we're talking about today. These enchants sound great on paper, but in practice? Not so much. So grab your rod and let's break down some of the C tier enchants. First up is Wormhole. Now, the idea here is pretty wild, giving you a 45% chance to catch a random fish no matter where you are. Sounds awesome, right? But in reality, it's like rolling the dice and hoping for a legendary fish, but all you get is common ones. It's a gamble, and unfortunately it's usually one that doesn't pay off. Most of the time, you'll end up with a bunch of fish you can find anywhere. If you're aiming for those rare catches, this enchant isn't going to help you much. Next, we've got Unbreakable. This one's a bit of a head scratcher. It boosts the rod strength by 10 tons, which sounds like a big deal, but here's the thing. It's really only useful for those cheap but starting rods. Once you upgrade your gear, this enchant becomes almost irrelevant. It's like buying a high-end car and then adding training wheels to it. If you're serious about fishing and want to catch bigger fish, Unbreakable isn't going to give you the edge you need. Now, let's talk about Long. This enchant extends your fishing rod line by a whole 50 studs. Seems useful, right? But here's the catch, it doesn't actually affect your catch rate in any way, it just lets you fish from higher places. Sure, it's cool to cast a line from the top of a mountain or out of a treehouse, but it won't help you reel in those rarer fish. If you're just trying to catch the basics and enjoy the scenery, this one's fine. But for those of you grinding for the good stuff, it's basically a non-factor. To wrap it up, these enchants are pretty underwhelming for anyone looking to take their fishing game to the next level. Sure, they might be fun to experiment with, but they're not going to make a huge impact on your success. If you're serious about fishing and fish, you're probably better off sticking to enchants that actually improve your chances or give you a real advantage. So let's leave these C tier enchants in the past and focus on what really works. That's it for today's dive into the more lackluster enchants in fish. Let me know if you've had a different experience with these, or if there's a hidden gem I missed. But trust me, these C tier enchants, you can do better. The enchanters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Scrapper, Storming, Ghastly, Breezed, Let's Trees, Lucky, Insight, and Blessed. Alright, let's talk about some of the enchantments you can grab in fish. You know, the kind that make your fishing experience a whole lot more interesting. So, today we're diving into B tier enchantment. The ones that might not be the absolute best, but still pack a punch and can really help, especially if you're just starting out. Let's get into it. First up, we've got Scrapper. Now, if you're new to the game and still figuring things out, this one's a real treat. It gives you a 60% chance of not consuming your bait, which is huge, right? Imagine fishing for hours and not burning through all your resources. It's like having a little safety net to make sure you can keep going without stressing over bait. Definitely a solid choice when you're getting your feet wet. Next on the list is Storming. If you've got your eye on fish that only appear when it's raining, like the elusive glacier fish, this one's for you. In rainy weather, you get a 95% luck bonus. It's a very niche enchantment, so it's not going to be useful all the time. But when it is, oh boy, you'll be catching fish left and right. If you're on a rainy streak, this enchantment is like your secret weapon. Now, if you missed out on the Halloween event and didn't get the haunted rod, don't sweat it. That's where Ghastly comes in. With this enchantment, you can catch fish with the translucent mutation. It's a neat little trick if you're trying to hunt down those spooky, hard to find fish that others might miss. So even if you didn't join in on the Halloween fun, this enchantment lets you join the party later on. Breezed is up next, and it's pretty similar to Storming, but with a twist. While Storming is all about the rain, Breezed gives you a 65-fold luck bonus when the weather's windy. It's great for those moments when you're after fish like the Obsidian Swords fish, which only show up when the breeze is just right. It's another enchantment that only shines during specific weather conditions, but when the winds are in your favor, you'll be reeling in some serious catches. Let's not forget about Lucky. This one's a classic for beginners, giving you a nice 20% luck boost. It's not huge, but it's definitely something to help you along early in the game. Most baits offer better bonuses, but if you're just starting out, it's a nice little boost while you get the hang of things. Think of it as your first step into the world of enchantments. Insight is another one that's solid for early game players. It's all about farming EXP, which is key when you're leveling up. The bonus isn't anything massive, but it helps you get more experience as you fish. So if you're grinding it for those first few levels, this one can make the process a bit smoother. And last but not least, we've got Blessed. If you're after those shiny and sparkling mutations, this enchantment gives you a 2% chance to land them. It might seem like a small chance, but those mutations are some of the most coveted in fish. So if you've got your eye on catching the best of the best, this enchantment could be just what you need to give you that extra edge. So there you have it, a rundown of the B tier enchantments in fish. They might not be top tier, but they can still be incredibly useful, especially depending on what kind of fishing you're doing. Whether you're new to the game or just looking to mix things up, these enchantments can really help you along the way. Happy fishing, and may your catches always be plentiful. The enchants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Hasty, Controlled, Seeking, Mutated, Noir, and Swift. Let's talk about the enchantments in fish and which ones deserve a spot in your A tier collection. You know, there are those enchantments that really make a difference when you're out fishing, and today we're diving into just that. Whether you're all about speed or catching that rare mutated fish, there's an enchant for you. So grab your rod and let's break down some of the top tier enchantments. First up, we have Hasty, and let me tell you, if you're in the mood to farm quickly, this is your go-to enchant. It increases your lure speed stat by a solid 55%. That's a game changer when you're trying to farm fast, especially if you're using rods with a negative lure speed stat. It's like a supercharger for your fishing experience, saving you loads of time and effort. If you've got Hasty, you're pretty much ready to go full speed ahead. Next on the list is Controlled. This enchantment is all about making life easier for you during the reeling minigame. It boosts the size of your control bar, which means you've got more room to work with when reeling in those fish. It's a super handy enchant for pretty much any rod you're using. No more stressing about that tiny control bar. It's all about ease and smooth gameplay, making your fishing experience less frustrating and way more enjoyable. Then there's Seeking. Now, if you want to catch some serious fish, this enchantment's got your back. It increases the size of all your catches by 10, and if you pair it up with the King's Rod, you'll be reeling in some seriously large fish. More fish means more rewards, and who doesn't love a bigger haul? If you're looking to maximize your earnings and flex those big catches, Seeking's a must-have. Up next is Mutated, a bit more niche but still super useful. This enchantment gives you a slight boost to catching fish with mutations. It's particularly helpful during the Mutation Surge event, where mutated fish are more common. If you're into collecting those mutated fish or making some serious cash, this enchantment is a solid pick. It might not be as universally useful as some of the others, but when the event hits, it can really shine. Let's talk about Noir for a second. Now, I won't lie to you, this one's pretty niche, but if you're farming for darkened or albino catches, Noir is an enchant you definitely want to have. It gives you a boost in these specific areas, and while it won't help you much outside of those rare fish, when you're on the hunt for them, it's a game changer. Not every enchantment is all-purpose, and that's totally fine. Sometimes it's all about that one specific need. Finally, we have Swift. Swift is like a more chill version of Hasty. It boosts your lure speed stat by 30%, which is still a nice little increase. If you didn't get lucky with Hasty, Swift is a solid backup. It won't be as fast as Hasty, but it will still help you get that fishing done in a reasonable amount of time. So, if you're looking for a good alternative, Swift is always there to keep your pace up without slowing you down. So, there you have it. Whether you're speeding up your fishing, making the reeling process smoother, or catching bigger and better fish, these A-tier enchantments are sure to boost your game. Keep them in mind next time you head out to fish and fish. They could be the key to your next big catch. The enchants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: quality, divine, resilient, abyssal, steady, and clever. Alright, let's dive into the magical world of enchantments in Fish, and trust me, these enchantments can take your fishing game to the next level. Now, you might be wondering, what's the deal with these enchantments and how do they make a difference? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to explain the best ones you absolutely need to know about. First up, we've got quality. This enchantment is like a multi-tool for your rod. It boosts 3 key stats: lure speed by 15%, luck by 15%, and resilience by 5%. So if you're using a rod with already decent stats, this enchantment is perfect for giving it that extra edge. It's not too flashy, but it's incredibly solid and reliable, making it a go-to choice for most anglers. If you're struggling to land those elusive, mythical, or legendary fish, then Divine is your best friend. This enchantment gives you a massive 45% boost in luck. Seriously, if you're after those rare catches and nothing's working, throw on Divine and watch your luck change. It's a game changer when it comes to snagging those high-tier fish you've been eyeing. On the same note, if rare catches are what you're after, Resilient Enchantment will make life a whole lot easier. This one boosts your resilience by 35%, which basically makes the reeling process way less of a headache. No more constantly losing progress when you're fighting that rare fish. It's smooth sailing, especially when you're going for those hard to catch beauties. Now, if you're trying to rack up some serious cash in fish, Abyssal is the enchantment you need. Not only does it increase your chances of catching fish with the Abyssal mutation, hello, extra profit, but it also boosts the weight of your catches. The heavier the catch, the more you make, and Abyssal is the enchantment to make that happen. Let's talk about steady for a moment. If you're aiming to reel in mythical rarity fish without losing your sanity, this enchantment will be a lifesaver. It reduces the progress loss by 25%, meaning you're much less likely to watch that prize fish slip away. It's like the perfect cushion to make those tough catches a little bit easier, especially when you've got that mythical fish right on the line. Last but not least, Clever Enchantment is the one you go for if you're all about gaining EXP fast. It doubles the EXP you earn from catches, which is great for players looking to level up quickly and snag those sweet level-based titles. So, if grinding EXP is your thing, Clever is definitely the way to go. So there you have it, 6 enchantments in Fish that can make all the difference in your fishing adventures. Whether you're after rare fish, extra XP, or just want a smoother experience, these enchantments will help you reel in the big ones. What's your go-to enchantment? Let me know in the comments, and happy fishing! The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.